What's going on, everybody? Tuki here, back again, and we are going to talk about some more NHL 23 news. The game modes trailer has dropped. A big shout out to my friends at EA for allowing me to talk about it here as early as I possibly can. In this video, we are going to go through this trailer. I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions. If you want to watch the trailer in full without my dumb face over it, a link is in the description. And of course, if you missed all the other trailer breakdowns that we had, my opinions on all of those, make sure to go check those out. There's some of the more recent videos, of course, out on the channel. Now, I have watched about half of this trailer, admittedly. You missed a great dance montage because I said, here, I'll just let them talk about Custom League. And I sat here and just getting after it because it's really the first 2.5 minutes of this particular video where they talk about Custom League. So I will sum up my thoughts in general pretty much as quickly as I can. First and foremost, they do mention this while breaking down in here. You know, I'm going to let this play while I talk over it. And again, there's a blog post as well that talks about all this stuff as well. Custom League is a fantastic addition to this game. It is something that has been asked about for a very long time. It is something that, as they mentioned in this trailer, works so damn well with roster sharing and custom rosters. I do not want to turn this into, hey, we finally got something we wanted. Let me immediately shift my focus onto what we do not have. Custom League is fantastic. You can literally customize anything in terms of the structure of the league. You see 6 teams there. How perfect is that for someone like a friend of mine, Snipe and Score Productions here on YouTube? Go check him out. You might remember the videos I did about his custom rosters from NHL 22. It is now perfect because he can go back in time to the 70s and have the league be perfectly accurate along with the rosters. It's beautiful. Even if roster sharing, I don't believe, is cross-gen or cross-plat this year. That's kind of the downside. But if you're on Xbox Series X or S, you'll be able to enjoy his flashback rosters, my custom rosters. I think Tactics is still going to be doing his rosters on the Xbox side of things. Again, no matter what console you're on, support the people who take the time to put custom rosters out there. We are, a small group, but a very passionate group is the best way I can think to sum it up. My overall thoughts on Custom League. Absolutely tremendous mode. You know, the comparison that I will constantly have is NBA 2K has been up here as the king, just the crown jewel in terms of console-based franchise mode. So we're going to exclude, even though they have console editions, the likes of Out of the Park Baseball, Franchise Hockey, or not necessarily Franchise Hockey Manager, but Football Manager especially. We're going to ignore those. Compared to FIFA, which is pretty damn good in terms of a franchise/career mode, in terms of NHL, in terms of NBA, in terms of Madden, NBA has been up there, and a big part of that is the ability to do stuff like this. So this certainly helps NHL close the gap in terms of being in that mix for, a podium spot. Granted, as someone who plays every franchise mode, nothing's probably knocking NBA down anytime soon. I don't know how much personal use I will get out of this, even though it is fantastic. The sole reason for that is just number one, how I tend to do series, but, we'll probably end up using Snipes rosters a lot more now. And it'll be nice to see the guide that he puts out to set up everything properly. But as much as I said I don't want to focus on what's not in the game, while Custom League is tremendous, I just don't know if this was the year that we necessarily needed Custom League. I think this would have been the perfect year to kind of do what you did for the other modes, the gameplay heavy modes with the addition of crossplay. This was a year where it was a lot of, okay, not so much big box features, the big new thing, but cleaning up and tweaking and updating some of the stuff that's been a bit lacking for the past couple of years. And I feel like the addition of crossplay is their way of doing that for the gameplay among some other changes. And for franchise mode, I think the best thing that they could have done, again, while Custom League is amazing, the best thing they could have done is some of those under the hood changes in regards to the coaching system. And if you've watched any of my franchise mode stuff this year, you would have heard this before. But, the coaching system, I think that deserved more attention than the addition of Custom League. Flesh that out more. Do whatever you have to do to make that experience more immersive, because right now the AI GMs are frankly horrific when it comes to building their teams. The coaches are horrific to setting up their lines and who they play where, because we don't have that fleshed out system and that information. If it was set up so it's like, oh, okay, we know this head coach plays his best players no matter what. This head coach prefers to play people that fit his systems, hence the chemistry. So you might end up with a really good guy on the fourth line, which does happen. It's just not a fleshed out enough system. And it goes hand in hand, not only with the coaches and the way the AI build their teams, with the players as well. They don't give a damn about players being within their position. Instead of Custom League, what could we have had? The addition of players being able to develop from center to right wing, if that's where the coach is playing them. You could go further and say, okay, maybe that player's saying, no, screw you. Or maybe the player's like, hell yeah, right wing, this is awesome. The idea of taking Madden's system of the attributes dictate what the player type is, and you can tell someone to play within a different role. It's the tip of the iceberg, just scratching the surface of what that coaching system could be that really no other game replicates. Like NBA is okay, FIFA is okay in terms of their systems. NHL has one hell of an opportunity to have taken something like Coach Mode, and hopefully now they do it in the future. But those systems that are already in place, where if you just flesh it out a little bit more, franchise mode stands out on its own compared to other games without a custom league. So I am torn. And again, I don't like coming off as like ungrateful or like, okay, here's the cool new thing, but fuck, I'm going to focus and be negative. I don't like doing that. Custom League is sick. But was it the right time to add it for this year? I just don't know. And hopefully we get the best of both worlds and some of my issues are fixed and we get Custom League. And then I don't have too much to complain about, which is what I prefer. I want the game and the game mode in particular of franchise mode to be as good as it possibly can be. Again, any complaints, any whatever critiques, it comes from a place of love. Let's hear about World of Chell. Why not? Of course, we knew about cross-plat.
Xbox players in the same console generation will be able to play against one another across all World of Chell online modes for the first time in franchise.
Get some of that dancing in now.
And now that our matchmaking pools are essentially doubled, you'll be spending less time in the queue and more time on the ice. The early prototype is promising, and we couldn't be more excited to implement this, as well as continue to work on connecting our players.
Patented AI snipe.
As best as possible. It's worth mentioning that cross-platform matchmaking is also completely optional and can be toggled on or off by all players.
I don't know why you'd want to do that, but it's nice that that's an option.
Because of the expanded matchmaking pools, we've updated our servers to better allocate to where our players.
That's pretty nice too. New servers, at least I think 2 new ones.
In the central part of North America. One of the largest quality of life asks we get from our community is the ability to open hockey bags faster. This year, we've added the ability to go quickly from one bag to the other, allowing you to open them at a much faster pace than ever before. We've also
If you're going to keep the bag system, it's a nice change.
Strategy screen where you can access our new and existing strategies to fine-tune your team play.
Of course, this we had heard about before too. Bunch of new logos, by the way, in World of Chell, despite me hating that name. Some good ones, some kind of meh ones, but always nice to see them actually kind of continue to flesh out the create a team feature as well, which is still the best. This and NBA. Some people will argue NBA because of the logo sharing option that NHL does not have. But I think NHL, if it's not number one, which it probably isn't, it's right behind NBA in that regard, which is saying something. Because again, 2K in terms of features like that, the positive side of 2K compared to like the microtransaction heavy shit.
Options for your team and player. Based on your feedback last year, we've tuned the preset attributes on multiple classes to ensure balance.
That's fine. Balance, and people will be like, nope, this is the meta build that's going to happen.
Increasing the starting attributes, giving you a higher starting overall to work with. We've also added additional loadout slots.
That's fine too. I mean, I don't personally understand the point of adding more loadout slots, but then locking them behind levels. Just let people have the loadouts they want. I personally don't get that. Like, especially if someone's going to use 10 loadouts. That's essentially like if they play the 5 skater position, like just let people use the loadouts.
Choice from game to game. We understand that having to come into NHL and set your team up for each and every game in online versus, that's not where the fun lies. And we want players to get into that next experience, that next game as quickly as possible. So this year, we're giving you the ability to save your lines and strategies for online versus. This also partners well with the new strategies that we have in the feature set for 23. And it was important to us that we get this in the game, get you into every match as quickly as possible, remove the work, and let you have the fun that you've come to NHL for.
I agree with that too. So all in all, not the most expansive trailer in the world. I mean, again, for the most part, just talking about a lot of quality of life stuff for Versus for World of Cheld. The big thing to talk about here was Custom League. And like I said, it's such a good change, but I'm just worried about the quality of life stuff. And for me, again, it is, I fully admit, potentially just a problem for somebody like me, who at the end of the day plays this game, particularly this game mode, way more than the average person, you know? And yeah, admittedly, it could be a problem that only I view or a small selection of people view as an issue. But at the end of the day, I don't think anyone's really going to argue against like my idea that like, hey, coach mode could be better. Don't you agree? Hey, coach mode, could it be turned off? You have the ability. I think you agree. Options are great. So that's pretty much my main takeaway from this. Custom League, and I've said it before, Custom League is goddamn awesome. Was it what we needed right now? I think if 22 had been focused on so many of these quality of life changes to what was already there, then you add this, especially like I said, if roster sharing isn't going to be cross-gen or cross-plat, if you bring this for NHL 24 along with roster sharing being cross-gen, cross-plat, bam. Because right now, it feels a little bit incomplete because you are still dependent on your specific console and what creator might be on that console, instead of if you're on PS5 being able to use mine or Snipe and Scores or Tactics rosters. You know, that's the only issue that I have with it, is what we have already. And here's where I'll end things. What we have already doesn't feel complete. It's not as fleshed out as it could be. NHL franchise mode right now is a 6. You take what's already there and improve it, and that bumps it up to an 8 or a 9. And then next year you add custom leagues with, you know, cross-gen, cross-plat, roster sharing, whatever. The list of complaints gets a lot shorter. They'll always be there in terms of what's in the game and what isn't. But I just don't, I don't know. I guess I just personally disagree with the roadmap and the choices that were there. Because like I said, this idea, it still feels like you're just leaving a little bit on the table. But let me know what you think. Am I way off base? I fully admit that I might be. Maybe I am just drifting into complaining for the sake of complaining. I openly admit that. Let me know. Call me out on my bullshit if I'm wrong. I know you guys will. You always have for all of these years. But let me know what you think. Again, link to the full video is in the description if you want to hear it without me pausing and talking over all of it. I don't know what to do with my hands. But thank you for watching. I will see you guys, I think, next time. I think the next one's a Hut trailer or something like that. We haven't had a Hut trailer yet. Am I going to talk about the Hut trailer? If there even is a Hut trailer. I don't know. Should I do anything Hut related this year? Do people really want the rage back? I don't know. Let's watch that sweet AI go one more time. I will see you guys next time. Let me know your thoughts on Custom League and if it's what you were hoping for a big change for franchise mode this year.